So I thought I'd catch you up a little bit here on the latest progress. Now, last video I think I was showing setting up my cardboard templates for the taper attachment guards on the back and setting that taper attachment up. Haven't really made any more progress on that today, or haven't made any more progress on that yet, but I probably will today because I can fit that all up with it, with that whole cross slide assembly off of the lathe, and I'm going to pull it off anyway to get the lathe bed scraped in. So I've been working on the control box and how I'm going to mount that stuff, tool holders and everything. So this is what I've come up with, and this is virtually the same as what I've set up on the other Sheldon lathe that I've used for years. I'm setting up the same basic wiring, the same controls laid out the same way, pretty much the same way as I've got on that one, just so they're the same, you know, easy to go from one machine to the other. So control box is mounted up here, and whereas the other box I had mounted down just a little bit farther and just flat against the wall, I brought this one down towards the headstock a little bit and angled it inward a little bit more, standing right in the front of the lathe. Why, that's where everything is. Got my mounts coming down off the back, and we'll move it around and show the back of it here in just a minute because there's a couple of things going on there. Digital readout's going to mount up there. Made my custom little arm. It will move in and out, and it will angle. I still got to do final fit on that and everything. But that's the way that's going to go. The rest of the lathe, it's now on a concrete pad, so I can actually get it level rather than it floating around a little bit like it was on the wood floor. So, and this is where it's going to sit, I think, for the rest of its life as long as I'm in this shop. So have mount on the top for tool holders, you know, I mean, a standard tool holder for AXA tooling. I'll get some angle iron and have angle iron pieces that the AXA tool holders will set right into, and I can line them up and adjust them wherever I want them along the way. So that's that setup. I've been working on the bed a little bit, although I really don't have anything to show on it. Like I say, I'm going to pull the compound off today, or the cross slide and everything off today, so I can start working on them. And then I'm just going to set it up on a table or something and start laying out the guards for the taper attachment. Been playing with leveling it and got my fancy little jig to check straightness and everything. So let's move the camera down to the end and I'll show you what I got going on there. Okay, so on this end of the lathe, what I've got going is I have a brake resistor that I'm going to mount back up in behind, and I'll show that a little bit more when we get to doing it. I'm going to, I've got a cross member going across clear at the back that sets in there, and I'm just going to take the brackets that came with this control box. It's got 4 or 5 little adjustable brackets. I'm going to mount that into the top, and then I'm going to position another piece of this square tubing across the bottom so that I can mount it up in behind like that. And there's enough leads there, I can run those 2 brake wires back in, probably up through the bottom and right into the VFD. So that's what's going to happen with that. The way that resistor will set is it's going to be hanging off in space basically, so there won't be any it's not going to be up against any plastic or anything like that to melt it or overheat it, create a problem there. So that should take care of that. I've got the tachometer for spindle speed, and I was debating on how I wanted to mount it. Okay, if we bring this on down here. Now back in here, I'm going to add one more little brace off of the back, and I'm going to go to the bolt that goes through this guard and bolt it there. It's going to be fairly stiff, I think, but we'll add just a little bit more. And when I get to the, I'm going to put a backsplash in, and I'll run it back probably about the equivalent of going clear back to the wall, because you'll need that much space to clear the guard for the cross slide. So we'll get to that. That'll be its own little thing, but just to add a little more guarding. Now, for the tachometer, I've got a magnet to mount and then a sensor that goes on here. I was looking for a way to mount it inside the headstock some way into this guard because I've got to mount the magnet inside there for this sensor to read. There's no real good place to put it, and I thought, well, maybe I could mount it out here. Well, there's not enough clearance to go through the guard and get into my spider here on the back and have everything clear and yet still read, and there's not enough room to put it in here. What I think I'm going to do is take another piece of this, and I don't know if this was tubing or solid stock, but I'll make me another little cutout just like this with this radius on it, and I think we're going to TIG weld it onto here. So it extends out probably 3/4 of an inch, something like that. I don't really want to go even to the inside of this tube. I want to stay out just a little bit to mount that magnet, because eventually I want to put I want to build a collet closer for this, and I think it's just going to be a hand collet closer. I don't really think I need a production style cross, quick release collet closer like I've got on the Atlas, or, well, I guess on the Atlas lathe. So what I think I'm going to do is just stick this out here a little bit, leave clearance on the inside, TIG weld my little place to epoxy my magnet in place, and then I think we'll just build us a bracket to mount this in here like this. The sensor has to be out far enough to where it's going to clear the bolt screws for the spider, and yet I want it in as close as I can get it. I want to angle it down here like this, I think, some way, so that I've got as much room as I can for back gear knobs and everything. So I'll probably just build me a little L bracket that comes up. I don't know that it's necessary to put any kind of guard or shielding over that. There's nothing really other than just dust that should be getting clear out here. We'll look at that as we go along, but I think just a little bracket that comes up that I can adjust this in and out with, and probably just screws to this with a couple of screws into that guard will be all it needs. Then I can run my wiring back up here and up by the cable that runs down to the motor and into the control box to wire that. So I think that's pretty much what I've got going on at this point in time. Today I'm going to work on my little bracket for back here, I think, and probably work on getting the cross slide off, and we'll go from there. I don't know that I've got any other new and exciting. I want to get the braking resistor mounts done back there too. Don't know if there's anything else that's really earth-shattering with this. Control box, like I say, will be laid out the way the other one is. I'm still waiting on some switches. There'll be a start switch here. This emergency stop switch will just cut off power to everything and shut everything down. And I use it as an off switch. That's what I did on the other one. And then clear over here why there'll be a forward reverse switch. So that'll take care of that. Braking resistor, I'm going to get it hooked up, see how it works and everything. If it's feasible, I would like to not really use a braking resistor per se to stop the spindle quickly. I would like it as kind of an emergency stop, and I'd like a foot lever down on the bottom that if I need to use it, or if I'm threading to a shoal or something like that, I can use that emergency or that braking resistor to stop it. If I do that, why then I've got to take the chucks and put a lock on them so that they'll lock against the spindle. So if you stop it quickly, why it doesn't unscrew the chuck, since these are threaded on chucks. That's a relatively simple thing to do. I think I've got 5 different chucks that could potentially be used on this at this point in time. What I'll do is I'll just drill on opposing sides of the spindle itself. I think I've got room to get 1/4-inch screws in there, whether they're 1/4-20s or quarter 20s or 1/4-28s, to lock them in. And then for each chuck, we'll just build locks accordingly with a bracket that goes on them and locks into the back of the chuck. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And I guess that's all I got for you. I'll bring you back when we got something else going. I'm going to try and get on the website today and load the clear oiling charts for these. Got an individual sending me the military tag that would be the tag that actually goes on here, so I'll reproduce those, and assuming we can get a reproduction off of the original tags there. So that's kind of what's happening there. I've got to do oilers yet for this, and then just get it scraped in and get it running. I think we're getting closer. There's always going to be little things. I've got to get the knobs and latches on the drawers and the door front. Seems like both of my Sheldons are missing one drawer knob or one lock for each machine, so I need 2 more, so I'll have to reproduce some semblance of those. So otherwise, that's what we got for you this morning. Hopefully find something interesting there. Comment suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.